Welcome back to Docs Off Topic. So as you all know, this place went underwater and I've been slowly replacing tooling and equipment as I can, and lately I've had some pretty good luck with treasure hunting. So what we're going to go through is my recent acquisitions and an absolute treasure that I picked up for, well, pretty much a song. So without much further ado, let's get into unboxing and having a look at all of the things that I've picked up and that have replaced things that have just basically been destroyed by water. I am looking at ways that I can store this that minimizes the risk of water ingression, which probably means storing my tooling in the main house, which didn't go under in the floods, which is going to make it pretty awkward when you need something and if you need it in a hurry. But that is what it is. So let's get into having a look at the treasures. Okay, where should we start? Well, for one, got this lovely little Moore and Wright. It's a little 0 to 1 inch, 0.1 millimeters. Oh, sorry, 0 to 25 millimeters, it's metric. And that's in great condition. It is missing its spanner and a standard, but I can use one of the other ones. And sort of Moore and Wright outside manual calipers. So that was a nice little find. I picked up this set of Michitoya inside micrometers, 2 through to 6 inch. They came with, I think it was, no, not this one. They came with one of these sets. I can't remember exactly which one. I think it might be this one. So I'm really happy with that. I'd like some smaller ones, but they're the tripod internal telescoping ones and really hard to find. Now we have this, which is a Michitoya depth micrometer set. I don't remember how long these standards are. I think it's 0 to 8 with a custom very fine point that was made by a machinist. It's hardened steel. Now we're running into some space issues. Next we have a Michitoya 0 to 6 inch outside micrometer, which does have its calibration standards, some of which have never actually been used. Which is pretty amazing, and the original paperwork. It's pretty rare. Next we have a Drake depth micrometer set. Now that's 0 out to well more than 12 inches, but nominally 12 inches. Out to 15-ish. So really, really happy with that. Probably never going to use the higher end range in this, but it's nice to have, frankly. to make it so you can understand why I'm a little bit unclear on where I can store these so that they don't get damaged. So also picked up a Moore and Wright 1 to 2 inch outside micrometer. It has its spanner missing a standard. Along with that came another depth gauge set. This is a Moore and Wright. Looks like it's 0 to 8. Might just move this. A dual reading Brown and Sharp inch vernier. Now, I know that a lot of this is imperial and I run a mostly metric shop, but I can actually do maths, so it's not that big a deal. And the beauty of this one is it's left and right-handed, so it's easy to use in the lathe. Right-handed ones are always a bit tricky to use in the lathe. And then there's this little joy, which again is used, but in great shape, metric and imperial. And yes, it doesn't have a calibration card, but for my purposes, it's probably more than accurate enough as it stands. Let's clear some space and have a look at the real treasure. So what we have here is a machinist's toolbox. The machinist who this belonged to worked for most of his life for the Rolls-Royce turbine plant in the tool room. Now, the box has seen better days. It's missing its lock, hinges are missing, and there is a drawer missing, which is unfortunate. What we have here are some thread chasing tools. These are mostly Whitworth. We have a dial indicator back lever. And some offsets. This is probably part of so to go through and find out what some of this stuff is, because some of it I don't recognize. That's saying something. It's 3/4 10 BSW. And these look largely unused. So we've got, it's either a set of no-go, yeah, it's probably a set of go, no-go gauges. What have we got here? Oh, nice counter ball. Somebody didn't want their gauge to roll away. What do we got? Some Moore and Wright radius. More radiuses. Draper Whitworth tool points for grinding your own tools. Probably the original key for this. And more radiuses, inside and out. Now this guy worked in a place with some pretty big lathes by the looks. They're bigger than what my lathe will ever use. Whitworth thread gauges. These are going to be handy for the shaper rebuild. Really need to figure out the threading on the nuts and bolts. And then we have a hell of a lot of reamers. One custom turned down drill, but all of these reamers are in pretty good condition. They look like they're predominantly #1 Morse taper. There's a few hand reamers in there. What's smaller than a #1 Morse taper? Comment down below. I really want to know, because that is a 1 Morse taper on the outside. What the hell is it on the inside? Now this box does need a little bit of restoration to bring it back. Where I can put that? Doesn't say what grade of tool steel these are, but that's some high-speed steel. Bit of brass flogging. Tep skill pen. For 93 degrees Celsius. A Moore and Wright leg divider. That'll go well with the other leg divider. Random chuck key. That would be handy for okay. Probably a #2 to #1 adapter. And this, I've not seen one of these in a very long time. This is an actual wiggler center finder for the lathe. Not seen one of these in a long time. Couple of, by the looks, homemade extension drills. Now that is a nice tiny little thrust bearing. German made. Couple of little rules. I wonder. Well, it's for a set of. It's for a micrometer. There's a couple of those. Another thread pointing gauge. Two of those for. I'm assuming they're for a dial indicator back. Another chuck key. Chesterman. This was probably a Starrett, but somebody's ground it off. Go figure. That one's unnamed. Yeah, this box needs a little bit of love. Ah. You're getting the picture, right? It still has Cosmoline on it. That sign bar has never been used. little tight space boring bar. Carbide countersinking tool. I believe these might be machinist jacks, but I'm not sure. If they are, probably shop made. Now the rest of this is in the bottom drawer. Chuck key. Miscellaneous collection of tools that are cut to size. Lots of tool bits. Another brass bar. Bit of plastic. Looks like key stock. Screws. A short Morse 3 taper by the looks. Probably a scraper of some description. Don't know what these are. If anybody knows, let me know down below. This is definitely going to need repairs. And one of the rails is actually missing, so I might put that back. Now this one we can't remove because the bottom's actually totally fallen out. I'm assuming that this is a right angle standard. I suspect these, and there's 3 of them, are lathe center standards for testing, although this one has a square. It's probably made by the original owner of the box. Doesn't fit. Not sure what this is. I now have 2 of these. Seeing a lot of RS stamped on things, so I'm assuming that's the original maker. Not sure what this belongs to. If it does fit, it's a very tight fit. It's bad. Yeah, there's a slight misalignment at the other end. I may just have to take a reamer to it, just gently to even things out. But there we go. That's the treasure haul. So that replaces a lot of stuff and gives me a whole lot of new capacity and capabilities for working in the shop. So that's where I'm going to leave off. I've got a little bit of repairs to do on the box just to get it to a point where I can put things away. And I do need to figure out how to make another drawer. But there you go. That's what you can get if you are willing to talk to people and just be nice. So, as you can see, there's my worry. How do I store this without it being at risk of flood damage? We'll cross that bridge when we can. So if you've enjoyed this little video, hit the thumbs up. Feel free to share on social media. And if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. When you do, don't forget, ring the notification bell. So get out to your shop, have some fun. But above all, stay safe, and I'll catch you for the next one.